Hello everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Apple Watch Series 10 and compare it against the Apple Watch Series 9 and see which particular Apple Watch is the better one for you. Now, clearly the Apple Watch Series 10 is the better watch here, but if you have an Apple Watch Series 9 or even if you own an Apple Watch Series 8, I would probably recommend just keeping those particular watches rather than going through and upgrading to, the Apple Watch Series 10. I think the Series 10 is a great watch, but I think the Series 9 might, be a better value per dollar, especially if you already own one of those types of watches. So keep that in mind. If you want to pick up either the Apple Watch Series 10 or the Apple Watch Series 9, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these watches, the Apple Watch Series 9 was actually a little bit of a smaller watch, if you want to call it smaller, than the Apple Watch Series 10 in terms of the display size. So the Series 9 was giving you a 41mm or 45mm casing on the front side, whereas on the Apple Watch Series 10, this is a 42 or 46mm size. So it's relatively around the same size in terms of like the size of the watch. They just removed even more bezel around the whole entire watch face, which is actually pretty insane. Now the bands are still interchangeable on both, so you can connect and disconnect the same type of bands on both. So there isn't really a difference when it comes down to that because they both share the same type of capability there. But that is something that's actually very interesting there when it comes down to it, because they're both relatively the same exact thing when it kind of comes down to it from that side. Now they both, like I said before, share a lot of similarity on the outside. If you looked at the front of the Apple Watch Series 10 and the Series 9, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that big of a difference. There's different color selections between both. There's like a new jet black aluminum version, which looked really nice. You could either get the aluminum or a titanium casing on the Apple Watch Series 10, whereas on the Series 9, it was aluminum or stainless steel. So it really just depends on which one you actually preferred at that moment. Now, another very big thing going on for these types of watches is the fact that between both, like I said before, they're both built very, very well. The buttons on the side are relatively the same exact thing as well. Again, like I said, the wireless charging pad in the backside allows you to go and wirelessly charge both of these watches, which is again the same exact way. The only other thing too is that the Apple Watch Series 10 is a thinner watch overall than the Series 9. So that is a really nice thing, having that type of effect there. Basically having a watch that's going to be slimmer. It's actually really, really nice to have, and that is essentially what's going on here as well. So from the exterior side, that kind of covers it up here, right? There's really not too many other crazy things going on here, but that's kind of how both these watches kind of compare from that particular side. Now on top of that, they both are giving you LTPO OLED displays, although on the Series 10, it is a wide angle OLED display. So if you look at it from different angles, it is actually giving you an overall better experience. So you can kind of view it at more angles there, which again is a very nice thing. And I actually like having that type of capability a lot from that side. So from that side, that kind of covers it up here for the most part. Now, some other big things to keep in mind here too is the feature set behind both these watches. If you're using an Apple Watch Series 10 or Series 9, if you're somebody like me, the average person who's probably not going to go super crazy or care that much about, the watch itself or like the crazy cool features, I am a very casual user of my Apple Watches, meaning that I will go through and I will basically just use my watch as a pretty basic watch, checking notifications, seeing if I'm getting a call, checking my workouts. Basic things like that is kind of what I'm doing all day. I don't really do anything super insane on my watches. So because of that, either one of these are going to be perfectly fine from my particular viewpoint. The big thing though I would probably say is that if you're going to go through and pick up one of these watches, the Apple Watch Series 10 is the one that's probably going to give you more features when it kind of comes down to it. They both have ECG applications. They both have sleep tracking with sleep apnea notifications. They both have the Vitals application, which, shows your heart rate, respiratory rate, wrist temperature, and sleep, duration. They have temperature sensing built in. They have cycle tracking inside, emergency SOS. A big thing here though is that with the Apple Watch Series 10, you're now getting this depth gauge to 6 meters. So it'll automatically detect if you're underwater and it will go and start tracking those things for you. So that is kind of something that's cool. The Apple Watch Series 9 doesn't have that. If you're a swimmer, then that might come in handy for you. If you're not, like I don't know how to swim, then the Series 9 is probably more than enough in this particular situation as well. Now the Series chipset inside is a little bit different as well, because you're going from that S9 chipset inside of the Apple Watch Series 9 to that S10, SIP, I guess the SIP chipset, whatever they call it, instead of the Apple Watch Series 10. So that's another slight difference there too. You're both getting the double tap gesture built in and, so many other things built in across the board there. But that's also another minor difference that you might notice from that particular situation as well. They both are giving you 18 hours of battery life with up to 36 hours in low power mode. Like, they're both giving you the same thing, although the faster charging inside of the Apple Watch Series 10, you can now go from 0 to 80% on, in 30 minutes on the Apple Watch Series 10, where the same percentage on the Series 9 was basically 45 minutes. So what I will tell you, in my personal opinion, I love the Apple Watch Series 10 and I think it's a very good Apple Watch. I just think for the value per dollar, I think an Apple Watch Series 9 in the used market might make a little bit more sense for some people to go ahead and buy, right? Like, I like the Series 10, but I don't know if it's worth the money, like $400 for a brand new one. If I could buy a Series 8 for like $200 or like less than that, I think I'd probably rather just buy the Apple Watch Series 8 from that particular standpoint than going through and buying something like the Series 10 as far as I know. So that's kind of what I see. If you have any thoughts or questions or if you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.